ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Om Tat Sat. What is the shloka? Haribol.
Sikshashtakam, Maharaj.
Oh, Sikshashtakam. Okay.
Last time we did.
We did what? We did what?
Jete.
Anandam Buddhivardhanam. First shloka is completed, Maharaj. Second one.
You're wanting me to do the second one. You're saying first shloka is enough, completed. Please go to the second one.
No, Maharaj, not like that.
No, Maharaj.
In that two topics we have covered.
He's giving a very slight hint. First shloka is completed. No.
First, Sikshashtakam, first session we did Vidya Buddhivardhanam.
Yeah. Om Tat Sat. Let's chant the Sikshashtakam together. Cheto darpanamarjanam bhavamaha davagni nirvapanam shreyah kairava chandrika vitaranam vidyavadu jivanam anandam buddhivardhanam pratipadam purnamrita swadanam sarvatma snapanam param vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. नाम नामकारी बहुधा निज सर्व शक्ति तत्रार्पिता नियमिता स्मरणे न काला एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवमीदृशम् इह जनीनानुरागः तृणादपि सुनीचेन तरोरीव सहिष्णुना अमानीन मानदेन कीर्तनीय सदा हरि न धनं न जनं न सुंदरीं कवितं वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवतात् भक्ति अहैतुकी त्वयि अयि नन्दतनुजा किंकरं पतितं वां विषमे भवां बुधौ कृपया तव पाद पंकज स्थिततूली सदृशं विचिन्तया नयनं गलदश्रुधारया वदनं गद्गदा हृदयगीरा पुलकैर्निचितं वापु कदा तव नाम गृहणे भविष्यति युगायितं निमीशेन चक्षुषा प्रावृषायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्द विरहेण मे आश्लिष्य वा पादरतं पिनस्तु मामदर्शनान् मर्महतां करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विददातो लम्पटो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु सा एव न परः। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। चेतो दर्पणमार्जनम भव महाधावाग्नि निर्वापनम श्रेयः कैरव चंद्रिका वितरणम विद्याबाधु जीवनम आनंदाम बुद्धिवर्धनम प्रतिपदम पूर्णमृतास्वादनम सर्वात्मा स्नपनम परम विजयते श्री कृष्ण संकीर्तनम। Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, all victory, all glory to the Harinama Sankirtana. Why is the Lord saying Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtana? Because what is Vijaya? What is success? What is victory? Is something that we need to define. If you ask somebody in this world, just a second, if you ask somebody in this world, what is the meaning? What is the meaning of victory? What is the meaning of success? It means different things for different people. For materialistic people who are in this world, if you ask the cricket team what is victory, it means they want to win the match. If you ask an individual batsman what is victory, I want to score a century. If you ask victory, what is victory for the bowler, he'll be saying something. If you ask victory to some political party, they will say something. If you ask success and victory to a person who is businessman, he will say, I want to make so many crores. If you ask what is success and victory to a film actress, she will say something. This film, the victory portion of it, success portion of it, differs. If you ask a Gyani what is victory, he will say that I should be able to get all the knowledge. I should become fully knowledgeable. If you ask a person who is a yogi, he may say that I would be the real pure yogi. He would say I have to capture Krishna in the heart. If you ask a person who is a regular Velaid Ashtanga yogi, then he will say I should get all the siddhis. If you ask a karmi, he will say that I should be able to do all my karmas perfectly, all the yajna, all the homa, all my duties, everything very perfectly. In this way, different people have idea of what success is. Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtana means that all successes that we spoke about, they all don't stand as success. That's why they are not called Param Vijayate. Param means supreme. Supreme victory is what? These are all temporary victories, because as soon as you get this victory, what will happen is something else and somebody else is more victorious than you. Death. All these victories that we spoke about will be taken over by death. Death is victorious over everybody else, and nobody is going to give any prize to death or any Nobel Prize to death to Yamaraj. Please come here, get the Nobel Prize for most successful person, because he kills everybody. Everybody dies by the power of Yamaraj, by death. Death is supremely victorious. Nobody speaks about death. Nobody will ever give anything to death. Everything is superseded by death. Everything is superseded by time. Sarvam kalam kratam manye. Bhishma is telling to Yudhishthira, actually everything is under the influence of time. Time is victorious over every material type of success or vijaya that people talk about, because they will all die and time will consume all these activities, and then there will be annihilation and destruction. Everything will be wiped out and you'll be born again and again and again and again. Right? So what is Param Vijayate? Beyond this is a greater victory. The greater victory is the victory of the person who is searching for reality. The victory of the person who wants the truth. He achieves the truth. He achieves the reality. That is victory. In between these two victories, material victory and the supreme victory, is the victory of the person who is the sadhaka. Ramanandara is being asked by Lord Chaitanya, who is a hero? One who is successful over his senses is a hero. Ramanandara is a brilliant answer he gives. One who is successful over his senses is the real hero. One who can bring his senses under control is hero. Lord Chaitanya says correct. Right? So in this material world, unless a person becomes surrendered to Krishna, becomes a devotee of Krishna, you will not be able to achieve success. And the Harinam, the holy name, allows you to do that. It gives you love of Godhead. That is what is mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, that the chanting of the holy name, the fruit of chanting of the holy name is love of Godhead. The fruit of chanting of the holy name is not the all other things that you're talking about. That may be a byproduct. But really, holy name gives you love of God, whether you value it or not. And there may be many other byproducts that a person gets. There are numerous. We don't even have to name them. Because something that can give you love of God, it should be able to give you everything else. That's why it's called Param Vijayate. Everything else is included inside love of Godhead. But you'll be stupid to desire anything else apart from love of Godhead while chanting Hare Krishna. Right? If you desire anything else, you are not going to get Param Vijayate. It's foolish to ask for anything else apart from that, because that includes everything else. This is the meaning of Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Always it has been like that, not only in Kali Yuga. Anybody who chants the holy name of Krishna has got best of victory. We may think right now, I'm not having it, I'm struggling it, I'm not able to do this, I'm not able to chant properly, I'm not be able to do that. No, the victory has started because you have started feeling like that. You started feeling like that. You started putting value on the holy name. And you want to chant the holy name properly. You are improving on chanting the holy name properly. Right? Inadequacy and the feeling of not being perfect in holy name is a healthy thing. Chanakya Pandit said one should never be satisfied with your japa. You should not say, I am satisfied with my japa. That is the beginning of your going down in terms of performing. So, Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam is very important, very powerful statement. What is the meaning of saying that? Supreme victory, the victory over material nature, Bhavasagar, that he is able to cross over the material ocean. That is a big victory. That he is able to actually control his senses and mind and dedicate them to Krishna. That is a great victory. That he becomes a devotee of Krishna is a great victory. That he actually achieves love of God, it is the greatest of all victories. This is what a devotee's victory is. This is what Lord Chaitanya is defining victory to be. Stitaduli Sadrisham Chintaya. If I am able to get a place at your lotus feet, then I am victorious. Right? Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Bam Vishame Bhavam Budau. Kripaya Tavapada Pankaja Stitadhuli Sadrisham Vichintaya. That is victory. That is victory. So do not think that victory means I will pass through the exams. I'm chanting Hare Krishna for that. You may do that and you may get that. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has mentioned that be careful of what the desires are in your heart when you chant the holy name, because they will come true. It will be sanctioned. Very, very, very dangerous statement. Be careful of what desires you have in your heart, because they will all be satisfied by the chanting of the holy name. Amazing. So he's saying, be careful about it. Because you must cultivate the desire to have love of Krishna. It's not an easy thing. It's not easy for us to desire to become a lover of Krishna. If you look at it very deeply, it's a very deep subject matter. It's a very deep subject. We may be on the path, but we should not assume that we already have it. We should not assume that I've already got it. We should not assume that, I am, going to perfect myself. If we feel the pulse of our desire, just like this picture of Divya Prakash here in his beautiful suit, he's feeling the pulse of his wrist. Can you see that? He's feeling the pulse of his wrist. What is my desire? I can see it. Right? The same way, you feel the pulse, you know what is a beat. And anybody who is a doctor can feel your pulse and say, where is your sickness? Which part of your body is your sickness? Same way, if we feel our pulse of our life, what am I really wanting in life? What is my real desire? Right? Sit down and think about it and put it down and get to it, You have to remove so many things and get down. No, this is your desire. No, it's not it. Go down deeper and deeper and deeper and feel the pulse of your real desire. That you're going to get by chanting holy name. So where you should be thinking about, I am actually wanting to be a servant of Krishna, if we have that deep internal desire, not on the superficial level, where is our desire for being a devotee and love of Krishna being placed? Is it on the superficial level, it is in between, or it's a deep desire, foundational desire of everything? Where it is placed, you can find by feeling your pulse. So this is this shloka that says, Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Vam Vishame Bhavam Budau, Kripaya Tavapada Pankajastita Thuli Sadrasham Vichintaya. This is that desire. Lord Chaitanya is expressing, this is my desire. My desire is to be, I am your eternal servant. I want to be situated in your service. Somehow I goofed it. I fell into this world. Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram. I am your Kinkara, eternally your servant. Patitam Vam Vishame Bhavam Bodhav. I somehow fell into this material ocean. Kripaya, please have mercy on me. Tavapada Pankaja, please place me as a Stita Dhuli. Dhuli means dust piece, dust particle. Sitadhuli Sadrisham Vichintaya. Please place me. This is the real desire expressed by Lord Chaitanya. This is the real desire. In Dhruva Maharaja's pastime, you will see the desire he had was very real when Narada Muni told him, go back home. It's not what. No, he said, no, I'm not going back home. I am going to achieve this. I want a kingdom greater than my ancestors have ruled. That is my desire. He made it very clear to Narada Muni. Narada Muni got impressed because as a Kshatriya, he knew what he wanted. When Narada Muni advised him, do like this and all that, he said, those are all meant for people who are very nice, satvically placed and all that. It's not meant for me. I want this. He gave his desire very clearly. The capacity to be able to say what is your desire was there in Dhruva Maharaj. That is a scintillating portion of his character. Why Narada Muni, in spite of him giving material desire, did give him the, upadesh to him. Are yaar, you got all these material desires, what do you want to achieve? I cannot give you a mantra for you to achieve your material desire. He didn't say that. He said, this person is very focused on his desire. He will very soon focus on Krishna consciousness. He's capable of focusing. He knows what is his desire. Most of us don't know what are we desiring. Why are we desiring what we are desiring? Is there any reason behind what we are desiring? If you start questioning yourself like that, you will drop all your desires actually. But what is it? You will start putting it. But those desires trouble you and they keep on, like a program, they come and keep on poking you. But if you ask, what is this? What are you asking for? Why should I get this? What will I get if I get this? You will see the desire will drop. If you use your intelligence and analyze your mental situation, most of those desires will be eliminated with the knowledge you have. But we don't do that exercise. We don't actually find out where is our desire, what are we desiring. It's all a big bundle of things and we don't know how to look at it. That's why Narada Muni, he knew that this boy is good. He's focused. He knows what he wants. He knows what he wants. So he told him, okay, you do this. You want to see Narayana, no? That is your desire. I want to rule and I want to ask Narayana that I want this done because he is the person who can give it to me. So two good things about him is this determination to see Narayana. Whatever the desire, it does not matter because once you see Narayana, everything will become all right. He knew that, Narada Muni. So he said, the fellow, that this person is very determined to see Narayana, is willing to do anything. That's a great portion of it. And he wants to ask him, let Narayana decide what to give him. And he will achieve Narayana the way he is determined. He gave him mantra and told him, you do the following things. You meditate on him, you do Ashtanga yoga like this, and you do it. He achieved it. He achieved it. Why? Because he knows what he wants. And when he saw Narayana, the desire disappeared. the desire disappeared. Narada Muni knows this will happen. But Narayana, if he stands in front of him, how can you have any other desire? So I sincerely pray to the Lord that you get to see Narayana. The blessings of Narada Muni was there. Because after that, he came to his father, Prachin, what is his name? King Uttanapada, and told him, don't worry, your son is going to become very famous. Because he already knew his son will definitely become successful in seeing Narayana. Narada Muni already knew while he was doing the penance. He came and saw Uttanapada and told, don't worry, your son is going to become very famous because he'll be able to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's an amazing statement. He already concluded this fellow will become successful. Right? Because he knows what he wants. He really wants to see Narayana. So the point is, do you want to see the Lord and ask him for material desire, or do you want your material desire satisfied? Dhruva Maharaj is a combination of both. That's a good thing about him. My mother has told my desire will be satisfied by seeing Narayana. That is what I want to do. Can you help me in any way to do it? He asked Narada Muni, don't try to stop this thing. Already I've got blessings of my mother, and what my mother said, I'm going to ask to Narayana. Can you help me see Narayana? That is enough if you can help me. You don't ask me that desire. Can you help me see Narayana? So to Narada Muni, he expresses desire to see Narayana. And Narada Muni said, that is something I can do. But if you have to rule all the kingdoms, it's not something that I can do, that only Narayana can do. But I can give you this. I can give you a methodology which I think you are capable of doing because of your determination. This is it. This is how it happened if you break down things. So knowing what is your desire, knowing what you want, placing it correctly is important. Most people are afraid of looking at it because it will stare at your face. So you are a fellow like this. This is what you want. You are not the nice thing that you are putting up to people. You are not the nice guy whom you like yourself to be seen as. We all want to be seen as so and so. When you say something and say, no, I'm not like that. I'm not like that. Then when he correctly gets you and he says, yeah, that is correct. That's what I am. But actually, that is not who you are. You want everybody to see you like that. That's why you're getting happy when somebody recognizes you like that. But why don't you recognize yourself truly like how you are? And start from there. And start from there. That is what Dhruva did. Dhruva was a very small boy. He didn't have all the social problems. He had not yet grown up to become, complicated and political and all that. He knew, I want this. Mama, I want the Cadbury's. I want the chocolate. That's all I know. The kids are like that. I know what I want. Give it to me. They have no complications. No, when I say this, actually, you must understand that. And when I say that, you must give me this. Adults are all like this. Especially the husbands always have tried to find out what my wife is saying here. What does she want? I brought her what she wants and she's now scolding me for it. Tell me what you want here. Please, I'll get it for you. But very complicated. You must find out what I want. Why you're asking? I've seen all these things. My gosh. They'll be sitting there and putting their head on the... I am willing to do anything for you. Please tell out of your mouth what you want. It's your duty to know what I want. Okay, yaar, I don't know. Please tell me. No. Why did you get married to me? You don't even know me so much. See how they are doing. Look at that couple. Oh my gosh. I'm very sorry. I've seen that happening. And you must know now. Go and get it for me. But what do you want me to get for me? I'll get it for you. You must know what I want. So it becomes extremely difficult. But for a kid, the kid knows, I want the ice cream here. That's all. I have no complication. That ice cream in the fridge, I want it. That's all. And the mother is not giving it. No, there's no complication. I don't want anything else. I don't want your sambar, idli and all. I want the ice cream. So as a young boy, Dhruva Maharaj was able to really say, this is what I want. But it's not so easy for us. Right? We sometimes profess to be devotees, but in the depths of our being, we have many unsatisfied desires, material desires, which stand in the way of us actually being a full devotee, completely desiring only devotional service. That's our real problem. All of us, we all have various types of desires, very subtle to very gross. And if we can put our finger on that, we will know this is what I am really desiring. But here is Shishaksham saying, Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam bam vishame bhavam bhutau kripaya tavapada pankajastita dhuli satrisham vichintaya. You must appreciate what Lord Chaitanya is saying. This is Lord Chaitanya's desire. He's praying to Krishna, saying that I made a mistake, I have realized it. I want to be resituated in your lotus feet. This realization will come, and you will sincerely desire to be engaged in Krishna's service. Only when you have nicely got beaten up by Maya. You have tried every other type of desire that you want to satisfy, and it's all failed. The best, that time only the sincere prayer will come like this. I really, sincerely had enough. I sincerely want to be your servant. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja will happen at that time. Sincerely desiring. So if we are in that position, we are very fortunate. We can theoretically also understand this is what should be done. This is what you should be doing. But I'm not able to do it because I have other desires in my heart which cloud me. So this is a personal journey of everybody that Sikshashtakam is speaking about. The journey of the soul, the saga of the soul, legend of the soul, the story of the soul, that he gradually has to make it across. So many different temptations, so many different challenges, so many different impediments put by material nature, and reach out to Krishna. Krishna is waiting for you to do it. If you sincerely reach out to Krishna, right, through the chanting of the holy name, it is possible to do that. That type of a powerful tool is the chanting of the holy name. It's not an ordinary thing. Nobody can reach Krishna. Nobody can. Neither the jnani, nor the yogi, nor the karmi. None of them. That covers everybody in this world, including spiritual, including religious, including material, everything it covers. Just this definition of jnani, karmi, yogi. All of them cover all the type of people in this world. None of them can reach Krishna. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Bhaktya tu ananyaya sakya ahamevam ditorjuna gyatum drashtum chatatpena praveshtum cha parantapa. Only by devotion can I be reached. And in Kali Yuga, devotion means chanting of the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Chanting of the holy name, you can achieve love of God. It has to be offenseless. Chanting of the holy name. So, understanding what is the meaning of victory, achieving that victory by seeing other and recognizing other desires in the heart, eliminating those desires by purification, by austerity, by penance, by following a sadhana and a disciplined way, and then situating yourself in pure love of Krishna, and then improving that chanting further and further by eagerness to achieve prema for the Lord. So these are all various stages. The Harinama Chintamani mentions stages in love of God as it unfolds when you chant the holy name. Very beautifully describes it. Maybe sometimes we can do that. Om Tat Sat. I'm going to stop here. Any question or comment? 10 minutes for questions and comments. There's a big machine running here, right next to Kodisia. I think you can hear the sound. Can you hear the sound? Anup, can you open up and show them the sound?
That much won't be audible in Zoom, Maharaj.
It's not audible. So heavy. I can't focus whenever this thing comes up. Some vehicle, corporation vehicle that is.
The sanitary tank cleaning machine, Maharaj. They have motor.
No, it's a vehicle. Corporation vehicle has come to
Yes,
take off.
Maharaj.
But it comes so often.
Actually,
Something marvelous.
Sreshta Pro has already informed them not to make that noise 8 to 9:30. Still there.
That's because I complained, Prabhuji. You think they're going to stop making the noise and it will overflow? That will be even worse smell. Better they make the noise. Yeah. Divya Rupa Nitai Das. How to be strong mentally? How can I identify what I need? How to be strong mentally? Be strong. Number 2, how can I identify my desires? You have a counselor, mentor. Tell him these are all my desires and he will identify for you. Your mentor, your counselor. These are called smart questions for difficult answers. I mean, smart answers for difficult questions. Yeah, anyway. The answer to your question is how to be strong mentally. That means we have an uncontrollable mind, which everybody has. It means that you need to use your intelligence to become mentally strong. That is one Sankhya philosophy solution. Manasastu para buddhir yo buddhe paratastu saha. Because the intelligence is superior to the mind, you can use your intelligence to control the mind. And if you ask me and say, no, it is not there in my jatakam, in my horoscope, I'm not very intelligent. Krishna says, Dadami buddhi yogam tam. If you chant Hare Krishna very sincerely, and if you submit to Krishna, Krishna is saying, I will give you the intelligence to come to me. So therefore, this includes that controlling the mind, becoming strong mentally, so that you can actually progress in spiritual life. If that is the purpose of becoming strong mentally, then Krishna will grant it. That is what Bhagavad Gita says. How can I identify what I need? You have to speak to your guru, your counselor. You don't have to go around identifying. Arjuna surrendered to Guru, Sishyaste aham shadimam tuam prapannam. And then he revealed his questions to Krishna, and Krishna answered them. Similarly, by revealing ourselves to Vaishnava, to Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, Guru. By learning from the Shastra, by all these processes, we will actually be able to identify what I am desiring. Your question is, how can I identify what I need? What you need is mentioned in the Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita very nicely. What I want is what I think you're asking. I know what I need. I'm not interested in that. Now I want this. Is what is your material life. The knowledgeable material life is, I know what I need, but that I will do later. Now I want this. This is material life, in spite of knowing what you need. So don't conflate both wants and needs. Don't mix one for the other. what you want, what the soul needs. Everybody needs love of Krishna. Today is Vijayadashmi, beginning day, right? So Vijayadashmi is victorious Dashmi, victory Dashmi. So today I pray that Krishna may confer on all of us, including you and everybody, that understanding of what I need and what I am wanting, how these two are different, and go for what you need. What Arjuna wanted is one thing in the battlefield. What he needed was told to him by Krishna. What he needed was told that you need me. You need love for me. That is exactly told. Everybody needs love and everybody needs to be loved. I can give you both of that, is what Krishna told Arjuna. Manmana bhavam tatto madhyaji mam namaskuru. So Arjuna submitted and he became openly recognized for that. So think about these things a little bit. Rasayana Natha Krishna. Thank you for the amazing discourse, Maharaj. You mentioned that one comes to bhakti only after getting thoroughly beaten up by Maya. This is true and quite apparent for most of us. However, we see a lot of devotees who have never experienced the dark side of the beatings of Maya. Are we to assume that they are already been beaten up in the previous lives and now they just have to sit back and relish bhakti? That you have to ask the history from that Yamaraj's assistant is there, no? Chitragupta. He will tell you the history of each of these, whether they got beaten up or they are going to get beaten up, or whether you are going to get beaten up, or all these things Chitragupta can tell you. Very difficult for an innocent, simple person like me to tell whether that fellow has taken the beatings or not, or this fellow is yet to take the beatings. And this, I don't think I have that type of insight. And beatings doesn't happen only once, it happens many times. In case you're thinking that I have already taken a beating and I've come to Krishna consciousness, beware, there'll be more waiting for you. You know, look behind you, what's happening. Be careful. It's not that beating stop. As long as you're in the material world, you get beaten any time. Irritadi, they will say in Tamil Nadu. Irritadi. You don't know from where the beating is coming here. They put you in the dark and somebody beats you and you know who is beating me and with what are you beating me? Why are you beating me? Nothing, you know. They just put a black sack over your head, tie you up and give you like nothing. And then their sack is taken out and you're pushed outside. Who beat me? Why you beat me? You don't know. This is material life. This is material life. So when beatings have to come from Maya, it comes. To anybody it comes. The best of people get it. Krishna has a plan. Right? So getting beaten by Maya in itself is not the qualification for getting love of Krishna. Love of Krishna should be according to your desire. Desire for love of Krishna has to be generated by you. Just because you're beaten by Maya and you don't develop love of Krishna, again you'll get beaten. Prabhupada explained the donkey going for sex to the she donkey. And she gives a kick right on the nose. And then the donkey screams and yells and the nose is very sensitive. After some time, he again goes and tries. He gets another kick in the same place. Pattadathile padal, they will say in Tamil. What is that shloka? What is that? There is one shloka, Tamil. Where it got hurt, again you got hurt. Huh? Can't hear.
பட்டக்காலிலே படும் கெட்ட குடிய கெடும்.
பட்டக்காலிலே படுமா?
Yes, Maharaj. பட்டக்காலிலே படும் கெட்ட குடியே கெடும்.
கெட்ட குடியே கெடும். See, so If we don't learn, we can get beaten up again. We can get beaten up again. Yeah, and it is true that by beatings of Maya, we learn to surrender to Krishna. That Nalla Mattukku Oru Soodu is another one. If you got beaten once, you will learn normally if you are a sensitive fellow and if you're a proper human being. If you are not, then you have to get beaten many times. What to do? That's how life is. Material nature is beating many people up. Some are getting subtle beatings and they smile outside. Some are getting grossly beaten. We can see, all of us can watch and put it on social media. But everybody is getting beaten constantly. Okay, Savya Sachi, forgive me for joining in late. We are extremely grateful to you for encouraging us with your association. Okay, that's a comment. Right? Any other question or comment? Shureshwar Shrikant, okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So like you're saying, I like the comment that we are all getting beaten up by Maya to get realized. So I was just like, just a comment maybe, like I felt like whatever is told in my astrology is like even me taking up Krishna consciousness, getting beaten at the certain particular moment of my life or pain or suffering, everything looks like it's boxed up already. And it's like, can't escape out of it. Like, I don't know whether I felt like that, Maharaj. Like when you said it, like I don't know how to put it, but I feel like it's already boxed up. Like whatever, like sometimes devotees say that when you do devotion service, more astrology may not influence on you. But looks like my life, like even whether it's devotion service also, as well as the pain and suffering, where the happiness, everything is like already looks like boxed up. Just a comment, maybe. I don't know.
Well, if you're thinking that devotional service will stop my material misery, that is true. That says in Nectar of Devotion, it is mentioned that one of the first symptoms of pure devotional service is that misery will stop. Means you'll stop feeling the misery. These are two things to say. The misery will not affect you and the misery will not happen to you are two different things. What it really means is the misery will not affect you. In the material world, everybody is subjected to it. But it is how you will respond to it that matters. Many things happen to many people, but everybody responds according to their karma, according to their reactive status. Right? So, a devotee will respond depending on Krishna and accepting. So the way he accepts and the way he keeps himself surrendered to Krishna in that situation changes the whole experience for him. Rather, if he is not a devotee, if it happens to him, it will be a response will be very different. So the deeper you are a devotee, the deeper the devotion, the more the response, the more a person is free from effect of it. So, but everything is going to happen to everybody in this world. Even Krishna got cursed by Gandhari and the curse took effect. Even Narada Muni was cursed by Daksha. Although he is the Lord's greatest preacher and servant, he is an interplanetary preacher. He was cursed by Daksha. You can never stay in any place for more than 3 days. But he took the curse, and it's not that Krishna told him, hey, who is that fellow to curse you? You are my preacher here. You cannot, you have to go and preach now. So you go and, it did not say anything like that. He went ahead with this preaching. In fact, it increased because of Daksha's curse. And maybe that's the reason Krishna said, very good, very good. This is a good curse for you. More preaching will happen for me. That's what would have been the answer. So every material situation you have to see whether it increases your Krishna consciousness. That is the measuring stick. That is the measuring yard, like they say. It is not whether it is bad or good, but whether it produces an effect of increasing your Krishna consciousness. Then that is good time for you. Why? You may be suffering, but you are getting a lot of realizations about the temporary nature of this world. You are learning a lot of things. Right? So actually it's good. That's the way it will be interpreted by Shastra and by a person who is genuinely interested in telling you the truth. So don't expect that I am chanting Hare Krishna, I became devotee, I'm wearing tilak and kantimala, why is misery coming to me? I'll rephrase that question. I'm chanting Hare Krishna, I'm doing everything, but how material desire is still coming? That question also you should put. If that is still coming, this will also still come. If you pick up one end of the stick, the other end of the stick is also picked up. If you pick up the stick, it's not that only one end you picked up, the other end also is getting picked up. These are all two ends of the same stick. If this is happening to you, that should also happen to you. No? Like many times people ask me the question, if you get initiated, Guru will take all the karma. I'm very eager to. I said, yeah, including the good and bad. Huh? What did you say? Good and bad karma he'll take away. That they don't like. I thought default bad karma he will take, good karma I will keep. Now, how can it be like that? I said. It only says karma will be taken by the Guru. So, are you okay to get initiated? All the good karma also will go. No, I'll think about it. I thought I can dump my bad karma alone. That's what they told me. Right? So people have their own notions and understanding of certain philosophical things and the truth. But what does your puny understanding matter? And even if you are able to understand, how long will you be able to sustain it? Krishna's mercy is supreme. A devotee's mercy is supreme. Prabhupada is giving his mercy to everybody in this world through his books, through the chanting of the holy name. Krishna is giving, Lord Chaitanya is giving mercy. So without thinking all these things, let us just surrender. And Krishna is very magnanimous in Kali Yuga as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Let's simply depend on that and try our best. Not be too calculative how much you gave, how much you took from me, how many rounds I chanted, how many years I chanted, how much of mercy have I got. Can I measure that mercy subjectively? And this thing, na ivlo chant panna, ivlo da mercy kadichadu. What mercy? I got Mahaprasadam. That's okay. But I am expecting something much, much more. People have all sorts of things going on in their head. Let's all these calculations of the puny conditioned soul. No? What does it really matter? If the Lord desires to give mercy, He gives it, irrespective of whether you are incapable or capable or whatever it is. So let's hope for the Lord's mercy, and then many things can become safely placed. And that mercy, Krishna has said that if you chant effortlessly to the Lord, is surely yours. Yeah.
Even one more, Aman Maharaj, you said that analogy, right? It looks so true, but so disturbing at the same time. When you pick up a stick, can't just escape the other end of it. So,
yes.
Yeah.
So the material world, many things are very disturbing. That's why if you get into this materialistic calculations of yoga, karma, and jnana, it is still disturbing. It is only in bhakti there is a chance, because you are offering yourself in full surrender to the Lord. There is a great chance that the I sense of thing is not there in it. Bhukti mukti siddhi kami sakali ashanta. Krishna bhakta nishkama ataeva shanta. The karmi, jnani, the yogi, sakali ashanta. Why? Because they all have material desire. Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Ateva Shanta. So it's not that we have to become dumb idiots that we don't desire anything and you take me, I am not desiring, not like that. It is just that we learn to desire and improve our desire and cultivate our desire for love of Krishna. Knowing intelligently through the study of the Shastra that that's all matters, nothing else matters. So if you offer your prayers to the Lord for that and continue to do your service according to your Manasa Vacha Diya Karmana. What to do? I mean, inside the jail, what can you expect? Don't ask for too many material facilities of this side and all that. Chalo, as long as I get my roti, kapda, makan, I'm okay with it. Rest of the time, let me spend on glorifying Krishna. Like that, if we decide, then maybe life will be a little better. Okay, Ji. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. Gokula Kandan has got a question. Everybody is posting questions slowly. Much of the time we try to complete chanting in the mood of have to complete 16 rounds and it becomes routine. The statement what you said, be careful of what you desire while chanting is really alarming. Yes. So these two things, one is you're mechanically chanting to finish the rounds. That feeling that I am chanting only to finish the rounds, that also is not very good. We should give time for chanting exclusively. Then only you are going to be really achieving what we need to achieve by chanting. Mechanically trying to finish the rounds, that is one thing. You should give, that's why it fits in the morning time. If you get up early and you allocate that time, 2-3 hours, it's only meant for this, nothing else. I will not do anything else. And so every time, like if you go to the toilet, that's all, you become very peaceful because nobody can disturb me. Here, I will pass out the solids and download. At that time, even I don't have to do anything. I cannot blame myself because I cannot do anything. Actually, some of the greatest intellectual cracks come in the toilet only. When you're happily passing out stool and you're very relaxed, nobody can disturb me. Nobody can stop this. And I don't have to give any excuse for doing this.
Einstein is one person.
Pardon?
Einstein is one person who always likes to think more in the bathroom.
He didn't tell us it's toilet or bathroom.
Bathroom, but he didn't say toilet.
I'm specifically talking about the toilet. Bathroom, you could be taking a bath and a shower. Because nobody can disturb you there. And you know that every day you have to allocate that time. Can you be without allocating time? Can you, when am I going to finish? I have to, when the download going to finish, I have to get out fast. Whatever you may think, the download takes its time, especially if you have constipation, it takes time like nothing. And you can't escape it. And therefore, the mind is very calm and peaceful. Nobody can blame me. They saw me going into the toilet. So when I come out only, till then they will also be relaxed. No point disturbing Papa. I have to wait till he comes out. In the same way, if there is a time for chanting, and everybody knows at that time, don't go and disturb this person, he'll get angry. At this time, I don't look into my phone, I don't look into anybody, anything but this. Then you'll see, you'll cultivate that feeling that, oh, now nobody can disturb me. It's not about finishing the rounds, it's about doing the rounds in quality in that time. Because this time is meant for me, it's blocked. We should settle down to that type of timing. Out of 24 hours, if we cannot give 2 to 2.5 hours for chanting, then what is the use of human life? 24 hours, 2 to 2.5 hours means what? It's hardly 10%. 24 hours is what, 10% of the time you cannot give for the most important activity under the sun that you have to do for your own elevation, your edification, and you're getting so much benefit by doing that. Why would you not give that time? And if you're not able to give that time, then something has to be looked into your lifestyle. You have to change your lifestyle. We have to think of things and change it, what is required, so that we'll be put in a better position to be able to peacefully sit and chant Hare Krishna. Must do it. That's an action that you have to go ahead and perform. Okay? Thank you. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Oh, another one. When Maya makes us fall prey, we really begin to pray. Oh, there's a rhyme. When Maya makes us fall prey, we really begin to pray. Yeah, thank you for the rhyme. Nice one. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki